So, you think you want to buy a house. So you do the normal thing, you go online, start looking around. You instantly become overwhelmed with all the options that are out there. You see old houses. You see houses that are maybe not so old. You also see shiny new houses. Decisions. If you are trying to decide whether you should buy a new home or a pre-existing home, today we're discussing exactly that. Hey guys, Brad Belser Realty Group at White Rock Realty, and I make these videos as a fun way to educate you so that you can make the best decisions possible regarding real estate. And if you enjoy this content, do me a huge favor and smash that like button, subscribe if you're not already. Plenty more videos to come. I know it's been a minute, but we are getting ready to roll videos back out on a regular basis. One more thing I want to mention before we jump into today's video. If you are thinking about making a move anywhere in the US, we have built a network of agents across the country that are able to assist you. So no matter where you are at, if you are thinking about making a move, go ahead and click the link down below. You can schedule a one-on-one consultation with me that's free of charge. We can discuss kind of what you're thinking, what you're wanting to do, what your needs are, and I can do my best to partner you with an agent in your local area that's an expert in your market that would be more than willing to help you out. So you've decided you want to buy a house. But what you can't figure out is which path to take. You go online, you see pre-existing homes. These are used homes, means someone has lived there before, but you also have new homes, which means they're new. No one's ever lived there. And they probably have all the current trends that you have pinned to your Pinterest board. First thing to consider are your finances. And I'm not talking about whether or not you can afford the home, because we are assuming we're shopping for homes that are within our budget. What we're talking about is, do you have cash reserves set aside to take care of things that are inevitably going to break? Not only are they going to break, they're going to break at the absolute worst possible time. AC is going to go out in the heat of summer when the forecast shows nothing but triple-digit days. Or your stove, your oven goes out the week before you have family coming into town for Thanksgiving dinner that you're planning on making. No matter what your circumstances are, events like this will happen and they are extremely inconvenient. But there are ways to mitigate the effects that events like this will have on your finances. So if you're thinking about going the pre-existing home route, everything in the house is pre-existing, it's used. We don't know how old it is, how well it's been taken care of. But something that you can do is get what's called a home warranty. A home warranty is through a third-party service. You pay an annual fee and you get some coverage on things in the house for when they go wrong, which is going to happen. Normally, you're looking on average about $500 for pretty standard coverage with a home warranty. And the way that works is typically, say your AC goes out in the middle of summer. Instead of you having to call an AC person and schedule them to come out and they charge you a couple $1,000s to replace that AC unit, you're going to call your home warranty company and make a claim. What that's going to do is they're going to send someone out, they're going to charge you a copay essentially. Usually that's around $100. You're going to pay your $100, they're going to come out and they're going to take care of whatever needs to be taken care of. But word to the wise here, not all home warranty companies are created equally. Okay, so you really need to pay attention. In my experience, there are very few home warranty companies that are worth a quarter. Most just are not. So do your homework, do your research, trust your real estate agent to point you in the best direction, because after all, they do have more experience with it than you. Trust their judgment, trust their experience. If you would like to know my recommendations for home warranty companies, feel free to use the link down below to schedule a one-on-one consult with me, and I'd be happy to share that with you. Okay, with new construction, what you typically see is a warranty with your home that you get with it, because everything is new, the house is just completed, everything should be right. However, oftentimes it's not. You're going to discover issues. What's typical with new construction is what's called a 1-to-10 warranty, meaning that first year, you have coverage pretty much everywhere. You're going to take that up directly with the builder. Things like just sloppy work that you didn't notice whenever you were doing your final walkthrough before closing. Paint, texture issues with doors, windows, siding, things of that nature. It's all going to be covered in that first year. So you got plenty of time to discover these things, let your builder know, make a claim so that they can get out and take care of it. The 2 portion of that, 2 years, things like mechanical mechanical things like electrical, plumbing, HVAC, all those huge systems that are expensive if they have a problem are going to be covered for 2 years. And then 10 years on things like major structural items, things such as roofs. If you have any foundation issues, that's going to be covered, and things of that nature. So, and on top of that, you have everything in the house is new, so you have warranties from manufacturers for any appliances that are in the house, things like water heaters, your kitchen appliances, the HVAC, both inside and outside units. They're all going to be covered under manufacturer warranty for several years. So this doesn't cost you anything. So this can be a additional cost savings for you because you've got several years, your first several years of home ownership in that new home, you're going to have pretty good coverage on just about everything. So not to say things won't go wrong, because they still can, even though things are new. Things still happen, but you're going to have coverage in place to handle most everything that could happen in those first few years. And for that reason alone, most people view buying new construction as less risky than buying pre-existing. All right, so now let's talk about competition. I'm sure many of you are probably aware of the current state of the real estate market. Competition is fierce. It's hard to buy a house. It can be difficult, even discouraging, whenever you're making the best offer that you possibly can and you're getting beat time and time again, over and over and over. The issue is when you're buying a pre-existing home, there's one of that house. There's not two, there's not three, there's not a dozen, there's one. There's one house exactly like that one. So whatever it is about that house that made you fall in love with it, made you want to put an offer in on it, it's probably the same thing that everyone else saw that made them want to put an offer in on it too. But there's only one, so everyone that wants it is fighting over that one. That's the issue with that makes the competition so fierce when buying pre-existing. When a home is marketed properly, it creates a buzz and it gets a lot of people interested very quickly, and this is what drives that competition. So if you don't have a ton of cash to pay on top of your loan, or if you're unwilling to pay more for a house than it's worth, then buying pre-existing may end up being an exhausting endeavor for you. However, with new construction, most of the homes are created equally. They will have subtle differences, things like different selection of the flooring or painted cabinets versus stained cabinets, but more or less they are the same. So with that being said, they don't have these bidding wars in new construction, because if you like this floor plan, there's this one, and there's probably 12 more within the same neighborhood of the same floor plan that are available. All will have subtle differences, but essentially they're the same house. So there's no one fighting over one house. Now there's 12 houses or 20 houses or 30 houses. So there's no fighting. There's a house for everybody that wants one. Now, a year ago, buying new construction was just as bad as buying pre-existing because the demand was so high. Since then, demand has slowed down just enough where builders are starting to get inventory again and starting to throw out some pretty insane incentives, which brings me to my next point. So let's talk about the incentives when buying new construction, because right now in our current market, we are starting to see builders offering insane incentives like they have in the past, which they probably haven't done since about 2017 because demand has been so high. But now they're starting to roll it out again, and the incentives are looking really, really good. So builders are often running sales for a weekend or over a week or a holiday where they're slashing prices. And these might be big price adjustments just for this sale. So they'll get you to contract on something that's already completed or getting ready to be completed very, very soon. Some other incentives that we're seeing offered out there are credits towards the closing cost or down payment, things like free upgrades that they're going to throw in there and not charge you for. We're even seeing builders with their in-house lenders providing locked-in interest rates significantly lower than you're going to be able to get on your own from your own mortgage banker should you go the pre-existing home route. So that decision alone, lower interest rate plays a huge role on your monthly payment if you're going to have a mortgage. Okay, so if you're going to have a mortgage, interest rate is a huge factor and you need to take it into account. So some of these builders that are offering locked in lower interest rates using their in-house lender, on top of using their in-house lender, they're going to give you some closing costs paid. That's a no-brainer, guys. If you are looking to save money and make the best deal, get the best bang for your buck, new construction right now is probably the way to go. All that being said, new construction versus pre-existing, when you're talking about the incentives you can get on new construction, buying new construction is going to result in less cash out of pocket for you. Honestly, probably an easier transaction, less stressful. You're not having to fight with a dozen other people to buy the house. The house is what the house is. You like it, you buy it, you get it, you got a lower interest rate, so you're saving money for the next 30 years or however long until you refinance that property. or sell it or whatever the case is. But provided you're locking that mortgage in for 30 years, so for 30 years, they're gonna have a lower interest rate on new construction versus pre-existing. That's gonna save you money every single month. On top of that, they're gonna give you money for closing costs, less money out of pocket at time of purchase. These are just some of the things to think about. How do we find out about these incentives? Guys, you've got to get with a real estate agent. These incentives are not something that's generally, these builders aren't running TV ads or radio promotions or anything like that. They're letting their agent partners know so that they will bring their clients in to choose them to buy a house with. That's it. I have builders that send me text messages, they'll call me, send me emails just about every day. Hey, this is the promo going on right now for the next week, for the next day, whatever it is. If you got any buyers, bring them by. Let's get them set up. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. In the editing process, I realized this video is going to run a little bit long and maybe a little bit much to take in all at once. So we're going to go ahead and break the video here. Part 2 will release very soon, so be sure that you hit that subscribe button down below to be notified when that releases. Thanks so much, guys.